In this age of we want everything now, we want everything quick, when life is everything but that. Marriage is We have to understand that marriage is never.
Hey everybody, what's going on? I want to talk to you today about Michelle Obama speaks about love, commitment, partnership, and marriage. Now, a friend of mine sent me this video in which Michelle Obama was speaking about her life, love, marriage, and what commitment means. And I found it very fascinating because, she speaks of the place that we are presently in, where we do find ourselves in today's society. And one of the things that she said is that this generation seems not to know or understand the value of commitment and what it takes to partner with someone and make a marriage work. She also spoke about the fact that many young people today do not know whether they are looking for marriage or just a relationship, because these are very two different things.
So when I talk about my relationship with my husband, it's because I know that there are a lot of young people who are trying to figure out what is a marriage? How do you shape a relationship? I am fascinated by how little we talk to young people, young adults, about what it actually means to partner with somebody and what those compromises look like. And, pushing them to answer questions for themselves of what are you trying to get out of this relationship with this other person? Have you thought it through? Are you seeking a wedding or do you want a relationship?
She also spoke about her 30-year journey with her husband, hoping that it would start a conversation among the next generation who wants to know and understand the dynamics of marriage and commitment.
Again, I share my journey with my husband, the things that stuck out for me, what I was trying to find in another person, and how that worked out over the course of 30 years. We are now celebrating our 30th anniversary with the hopes that, it will create a conversation among the next generation of people trying to start to build their lives. What do you look for in a partner? What do you have to bring to a relationship yourself in order to make it whole and healthy?
Now, Michelle Obama said that in this age where we want everything now, we have to understand that marriage is never 50-50. And if you stick with the process, it will eventually balance itself out over time.
In this age of we want everything now, we want everything quick, when life is everything but that. Marriage is We have to understand that marriage is never 50-50. And you sort of wonder how that idea kind of got out there. I have found that if you stick with it, over the course of your entire relationship, you may have 50-50 over time.
She also said considering what your goals are will cause you to compromise, because this is the only way that your relationship will work. Now, when you look at your marriage, and things may not come together in year 5, year 10, or even 15 years later, you have to evolve with the relationship, because things and the people are constantly changing. Now, you might be putting in more at this juncture, and they might be putting in more in the next phase of your relationship. So you might be putting in 70% right now. He might be putting in 30. And she talks about these things, you know. So this is why we have to know that this is not a sprint. In my opinion, it's a marathon. We have to be willing to put in the time. And we have to learn to wait for the outcome. In my humble opinion, and this is because we don't always give the same percentage at the same time. Things take time to come together.
But if I look over my marriage, if I were to judge it in year 5 or year 10, there was never 50-50. Somebody was always giving way more. Someone always needed a different kind of thing. You have to evolve with it.
Here's another thing that she was talking about. She spoke about compromising to the point that she had to slow up a little bit, never fully applying the brakes. That's telling me that at times we have to take our time because maybe we're moving too fast for the other person. Maybe you're way ahead of them, quite a few steps, and we got to slow down and let them catch up.
And so, yeah, there were times when I felt like I was 70% in and he was doing 30%. But I think that, and I've had to compromise as he has. I've had to, because of the choices that I made in the terms of how I wanted our family to look,
Yeah.
I had to take my foot off of my career gas pedal, never putting on the brake, but slowing up a little bit.
you know and so this is a work in progress. This thing does not happen overnight. And one of the important things that was said is that it is disheartening to see people abandon their relationship simply because they refuse to deal with hard times and discomfort. However, she said that she would often tell young people that you have to be willing to go through long stretches of discomfort. And I agree. That assessment is exactly how I feel. The unfortunate thing is that not only the young people, but also older people who should know better, who's been around for a while, seems to not know that it takes time and work to make relationships successful. And those very older folks are also abandoning their relationships because now everybody's thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. And so people are not realizing that longevity is the key to a successful marriage. Any marriage that is successful, they'll tell you it takes work, it takes patience, it takes compromise, and it definitely takes longevity.
Those are the natural compromises that are required. And I feel bad when I see young people giving up on their relationships because there are periods of hard, there are periods of discomfort. As I have told young people who ask me about marriage, I was like, you have to be prepared to have long stretches of discomfort. And long, I mean, it could last for years.
And one of the last things she said is that when kids are also included in the equation, listen, things become much more complicated and your lives are turned upside down. I know what that is. Listen, I believe that if two people truly love each other, then they will weather the storms of marriage and relationship and understand that with God's help, it'll work out. Knowing that God gives grace every day and strength when we need it. And I agree also with this last statement that unfortunately people tend to give up before they allow things to play itself out naturally.
And don't put kids into the equation, because that's just another layer of complication. You love them to death, but they will shake your marriage up and turn you both upside down. So I think it's important for us to be honest in those conversations, not to glamorize what a partnership feels like, because then young people quit too soon. They quit before they've really, played out the full scenario. So
I believe that if we push past the pain, our relationships will be successful, especially if we know for sure that God is in it. If we know we chose the right person, why is it that we can't stick with it? Why is it that we cannot make it work? There is no such thing as incompatibility. Why? Because we're all incompatible. We all have come from different places in life. And if we want things to work, we can make it work. But the fact is, we are all selfish. Want what we want when we want. That is the problem. Do me a favor. Leave me your comments. And thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. My name is William Nelson Ryan, and this is Love Factual. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care.